Convention on Biological Diversity. Where was this first? You recall the connection between any summit or thing where the CPD was first concept of CPD was first formulated. Yeah, Rio Earth Summit, absolutely. Rio Earth Summit. So Rio Earth Summit, we had a lot of things. We had UNFCCC, we have Convention on Biodiversity, then we had Forest 21 Principles. We had some 3 plus 3, 6 important and sustainable development, conference on sustainable development. So we had 3 initiatives and 3 reports that were released. Go back to class 2 or class 3 and you will see that in one slide I had covered Rio, and at the bottom of the slide I have given that Rio Summit gave 3 landmark initiatives and 3 reports, of which one initiative is the Convention on Biodiversity. Okay, so let's look at the goals. What are the goals? Kind of self-explanatory, but anyway, let's go through it. Since it is about biodiversity, obviously the first priority is conservation. Conservation of biological diversity. Conservation of biological diversity. That is the first goal. It's very logical. Okay. Now, by conservation, does it mean prohibition? That's the first thing that will come to our mind. Sorry. Does it mean prohibition? The answer is no. What does it actually back for or propose is sustainable use. Which means even the Convention on Biological Diversity is not so unpractical to say that completely ban use of all biodiversity. That's neither feasible nor desirable. So what they have done, conservation of biological diversity. The second objective being sustainable use of its components. So the word sustainable takes care of it everywhere. It means the rate at which you use should be much less than the rate of natural replenishment of that resource. Okay, that's the sustainable use. The third one is fair and equitable sharing of benefits. Fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources. So here, if you look at it, you use it, but while using it, give credit to the people, native people from whom you have got that knowledge or the technology. So here, the first 2, when I look at it, the first 2 are very clear, by environment related. The second one is, to me, at least, it is somewhat ethics related, isn't it? Give fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources. So this is the 3 objectives of CBD. Then there are some parts when it entered into force and all that. It is this is important. It is considered as a key document regarding sustainable development. And it has 2 major subparts to it. The Convention on Biological Diversity has 2 major subparts to it. One is called as the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety. And the other one is called as the Nagoya Protocol. So it's called as the Nagoya Protocol on access and benefit sharing. Nagoya Protocol on access and benefit sharing. First one is Cartagena Protocol on biosafety. By the way, these came very far away from each other. One came in 2000, other came in 2010. Cartagena Protocol. So Cartagena Protocol, as it says, it's a protocol on biosafety. Okay, so which means they were afraid that something could happen which could be a threat to the biological resources. What is that something? That something is defined in Cartagena Protocol as living modified organisms, which are also known as genetically modified organisms. Living modified. Living, the organism is living, but it is modified. Modified from what? Modified from its original gene structure, so to say. And therefore, it's same as calling it as genetically modified organisms. So, the protocol on biosafety, Cartagena Protocol on biosafety, therefore, what does it do? So, you come directly from here to here. It seeks to protect biodiversity from potential risks posed by genetically modified organisms, resulting from modern biotechnology. Yeah, is this clear? Now, genetically modified organisms, usually they are used for commercial purposes. because we know what you can do. You can genetically modify it to give more productivity. Yeah, maybe drought tolerant, maybe pest resistant. There's so many things you can do. But while doing it, all that you will do is you will destroy the native diversity. For example, if there is a cotton, and the cotton itself is of 10 different varieties, and it grows over, let's say, 10,000 hectares of land in the black soil region of India. And if you replace that entire diversity of cotton with one genetically modified cotton, which you claim will be pest resistant, drought tolerant, etc., etc., all that is fine. But you will replace 10 different cotton varieties with one genetically modified cotton, which is not good from a biodiversity point of view, which is not even good from a human welfare point of view, because tomorrow, for some reason, there is a new variety of pest that attacks cotton. Earlier, there were 10 different varieties, so maybe 3 got affected. Now there is just one variety. So the entire 10,000 acres will be wiped out. Imagine you have an invasive species. We talked about the cotton mealy bug in the invasive alien species. Imagine there is a more virulent, virulent variety of cotton mealy bug. Maybe that destroys the entire cotton, because genetically they are all replicas. The cotton is all replicas. Okay, so this is what the Cartagena Protocol talks about. The next one is Nagoya Protocol. Nagoya Protocol, as I said, it is about access and benefit sharing. So it says if someone utilizes so in fact, the other way is, if I look at it, the Cartagena Protocol is related to the first two, this and this. The Nagoya Protocol is about the third objective. That's an easier way to look at it. Cartagena Protocol helps you to implement the first two objectives of CPD. Nagoya Protocol is helping you to achieve the third objective of CPD. And if you remember, in one of the classes, I also said this 2011 to 2020 has been declared as the United Nations Decade on Biodiversity. Okay? So this is the United Nations Decade on Biodiversity. And 2010 was the International Year. On Biodiversity. International Year on Biodiversity. So suffice for you to just remember that when we are talking about biodiversity, it's important to know Cartagena Protocol, Nagoya Protocol. There is also something called as the Aichi Biodiversity Target, which is nothing but 20 targets related to conservation of biodiversity. Okay. And this Aichi Biodiversity Target was adopted in the Nagoya conference in 2010. So three things: CPD, Cartagena Protocol, Nagoya Protocol, and Nagoya Protocol is related to the Aichi Biodiversity Target, which was part of the Nagoya conference held in 2010.